A Big Mac episode. We're actually getting a Big Mac episode. He's been a fan favorite since season 1, but never got to be the main focus of a story until now. There have been countless fan comics, fan fictions, art pieces, and even an official series from the IDW comics that feature Big Mac. So the writing staff would certainly have their work cut out for them if they wanted to come up with something original for his character. I wonder what they could possibly...
Well, I do declare it's harder today than the business end of a corncob pie.
Well, okay then. I have to admit, this certainly caught me off guard. I, for one, keep asking for episodes that aren't quite so predictable, and sure enough, every now and then the MLP staff keeps throwing us a curveball. And yet the episode still gave us a highly entertaining and even heartwarming story. Not a bad way for Big Mac to finally get his moment in the spotlight. The episode begins with some rather adorable moments between Applejack and Applebloom, in a direct follow-up to last week's Made in Manhattan, because sure enough, just as we saw in the previous episode, Applejack is called away by the cutie map. Once again, I gotta show appreciation to the writers for making these newer episodes feel like a grander story overall. And I sincerely hope this trend continues because I think the writing gets far more interesting when they take all the other episodes into account. At any rate though, Big Mac is feeling a little left out considering all the praise Applebloom is giving Applejack. And with good reason. I mean, it's about time more ponies would point out just how much the main 6 do for Equestria. And it sets up the conflict in a very relatable way. I don't know how many of you come from a family of more than 2 siblings, but I actually grew up with 5 siblings, several of whom were honor students, state champions in one activity or another, and/or musical prodigies. So this scene really gets to a person like me. And better still, we're getting more character development from Big Mac when he shows just how hard it is to open up and talk about his feelings, which actually builds into a heartwarming scene later on, making it all the better. Now, as for Orchard Blossom, I am rather impressed with how Peter New manages to make this such a convincing and yet hilariously bad performance at the same time. He pulls off the Southern Belle accent pretty well, and yet occasionally breaks that accent in a way that seems natural. This isn't meant to be a so good it fools everyone costume like, say, Mrs. Doubtfire. And the fact that practically everyone can tell it's really Big Mac right from the start was a better way to go about this story in my opinion. As while it might have been a little entertaining if he somehow fooled most ponies, it just wouldn't have spoken very highly of their intelligence. And besides, Sweetie Belle and Rainbow Dash's deadpan reactions just added to the entertainment value here. Speaking of Rainbow Dash, can I say how satisfying it is to see Scootaloo taking part in the Sisterhooves social like so many of us were wishing she would have back in Season 2? I know these two weren't the main focus of the story, but they were such a needed addition here. Now, I admit I was a little worried that somehow Big Mac and Applebloom were going to end up winning despite all the odds against them, followed by the inevitable discovery of Big Mac's true identity and a lesson about how it really shouldn't matter if they aren't sisters. And honestly, that would have felt both forced and a little disappointing. But thankfully the judges already knew about Big Mac's charade, and were even berating him for unsportsmanlike conduct. This little tidbit was even hinted at by Granny Smith early on in the episode. And I'm so glad they went this route instead, showing that Big Mac and Applebloom didn't have to win anything in order to grow closer as siblings. There were a ton of comedic moments strewn throughout the story, most from sheer awkwardness. Honestly, even with the Princess Big Mac moment from several episodes back, I don't know whether anyone could have seen this coming. But the underlying motivations for Big Mac were immensely relatable, and his determination to see things through was actually quite admirable. Again, an unexpected solution, but sincere motivations behind it all. And that final scene against the sunset was just as memorable and heartwarming as I was hoping it'd be. This is easily the most sincere moment from both Big Mac and Applebloom in the entire series, with such a wonderful lesson that really sticks with you. Understanding that our heroes will always inspire us, but reminding ourselves that those others who are close to us need to feel appreciated from time to time. even when, like Big Mac, their impact on the world is rather small in comparison. This is the kind of episode that really leaves a lasting impression in my opinion. Its comedy completely took us off guard. Its story went in an even better direction than what we might have expected. The secondary plot also had a satisfying conclusion. And the moral is easily one of the best represented in the show thus far. I, for one, can't help but give a high rating for Brotherhooves Social. Now I would like to hear from each of you. What was your reaction when you first saw Orchard Blossom? Do you think Big Mac's antics helped or hurt the episode as a whole? Can you relate to the conflict of some siblings outshining others? What would you like to see Big Mac and Apple Bloom do together in future seasons? I would like to hear your thoughts on Brotherhooves Social. And while Big Mac's first major story went in a completely unexpected direction, I for one think it turned out far better than any of us could have hoped. I am Dr. Wolf, and I look forward to hearing from you.
I've been told before I'm pretty observant. I just come up with the best idea ever! You say a love potion? We all agree these two are perfect for one another. We may have given you the teeny tiniest bit of love potion that may have turned out to actually be a love poison.
I haven't the slightest doubt.